Well, hello and welcome to the show. Glad you've joined us this week. I don't know if you recognize the guy with me or not. Lately there have been folks who have not been sure which is which, but you pretty well know now that I'm the little one. So Kurt's gonna be working with me today. We're gonna be working on rope breaking this colt and getting him ready to be roped on tomorrow. That's coming up right here on Discovering the Horseman Within.
Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
So we've been using Deuce for a lot of things here lately, but we've never roped on him. And Kurt's gonna rope on him either tomorrow or the next day. So we wanna do some preparation work and get our horses ready. To me, it's important that we actually prepare the horse and give him the opportunity to know what's coming and to have the plan so that when the rope starts being used, he's not gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna crawl up on the fence and kind of direct Kurt, and we're gonna work on this and give you some simple exercises that'll help your horse get very, very comfortable with ropes around their feet, around their body, in all different situations and places. Kurt, what I'd like you to do is just start by placing the rope on the saddle horn. Now you can walk up and put it there, or you can rope the saddle horn, or you can do whatever you want, but I want the rope firmly attached to the saddle. And we'll just start. Oh my goodness, look at this. He's gonna walk up and put it on. I would have bet that he would rope the saddle horn. This kid has carried a rope in his hand since the time he had the ability to walk. All right, so just send him off. There you go. Let him feel that rope come back there. And it's a good place to start. Kurt's using a 50-foot rope, and that gives you plenty of room. He's in a 60-foot pen. Just drive him around there. And just what you want to do at this point is play with the rope. Let that horse get it. Now, if it gets up under his tail, you watch. Right there, you see Kurt instantly put slack in the rope. You don't want to pull on the rope right here. You want it to stay nice and tight, but you don't want to pull on it. If you pull on it, you're going to rope burn that horse. So he gets it in there, gets it snug. When that horse releases it, that's perfect. Let's turn him around and send him the other way. I'm gonna flip that rope back over there and let's work the other side. Now right there, that rope got hooked under his leg and between his flanks. That's perfect. Kurt's a way better roper than I am, right, Kurt, or am I?
Yeah, I don't know.
So his rope probably never ends up there, but mine does. What I want to do with this horse is take the chance and the time. I want you to play with this rope, and you notice his timing is excellent. He tugs on it, puts some pressure. Explain why you're doing that, Kurt.
Well, when you rope a calf, sometimes they'll pull real hard on it and then turn back and come right back towards you, so it puts slack in the rope. So by pulling on it and then letting it go, it's just like a calf that'll run, hit the end of the rope, and then turn around and go back the other direction.
Okay, now when he hops like that, I want you to keep the pressure up. I don't want you to let go of him when he hops. Just wait till his feet, now let go, now let go. What I want to do is, if we're gonna take the pressure long enough, Kurt, for him to start hopping, then I want you to hold through until he flattens out. What I don't want him to do is think, there, release it, perfect. I don't want him to think that hopping finds a release. I want him to find his release through behavior that I would like to see him exhibit when I'm riding him. Okay? Just keep sending him off and tangling him up. I tangle like that's perfect. I tangle my horses everywhere. Everywhere that I can, I tangle my horses. And again, I don't want to rope burn him. You never see him really pulling this rope tight. Right? This, good, perfect. Just giving the horse a chance to work through this. Like you said, sometimes those calves will veer back on you, or if you're like me, drop your rope, it doesn't end up where it belongs. You want to make sure you're giving this horse the opportunity to feel this. You know I hate the phrase desensitize. This is one time where you are sort of desensitizing the horse because you don't want him hung up in this rope and freaking out. Start taking that rope, Kurt, and flipping it up, the tail of it up over his head and catching his front legs and just wind him up in it a little more. Deuce is a really nice natured horse, and frankly, that's what we look for. We love disposition. Disposition is my favorite color, it's my favorite breed, and it's my favorite conformational trait. And obviously it's none of those things. My point is disposition is far more important than anything else you might look for in a horse. Right? Do that again. I love the way you did that. Zing that rope back up over there again and try to get it wrapped up around his neck and just make a mess out of it. You know, pretend like it's me roping instead of you. There we go. Hooked it over the saddle, catch that stirrup. Good. You just want to give the horse the chance to feel things in different places, different locations. Good. Good. I love that. There, back under his belly. Now, one of the things that you never do is pull until he comes to a standstill with just the saddle horn. I don't ever want to take the pull out of my horse. We leave the tug here. I don't want him to get away with hopping around, so if it's tangled, we maybe wait until he quits hopping before we release it. But you want to be careful you don't actually take the pull out of your saddle horse. Perfect. Again, I love how tangled he's got, this horse, but he's being very careful not to rope burn him. That's not for your benefit. That's not so we don't get nasty emails from people saying we're being cruel. That's because I don't want this horse to have one reason to be afraid of this rope. I don't want him to get rope burned. And if this horse learns how to work his way through the rope and how to get himself out of it, and how stopping will get the pressure to go away, then when you get in a bad situation and he does get rope burned, he won't freak out, blow up, and buck you off. Instead, he'll take it and he'll stand and be a partner that'll work with you through the whole storm. And that's really what we want out of our horses when we're building rope horses, is we want a horse that's going to become a partner. Deuce here has generations and generations of cow horses on his pedigree. This horse has everything it takes to be a nice little ranch horse. We want to make darn sure we give him the opportunity from our viewpoint. And it's the same thing with your horse. I don't care if he's a BLM Mustang that has no pedigree, or if he's a Friesian you decided you wanted to rope off of. Doesn't matter what the breeding is. You want to prepare the horse and give him a program to work with. Good. Okay, Kurt, what I'd like you to do now, just for a minute, I'd like you to get that horse to face you, and I want you to work that rope around his front feet and get him to give to the pressure on the rope of his front feet a little bit.
Okay.
The way that I would break one to hobble, I want you to do that exercise.
Okay. So
kind of explain it while you're doing it.
Untangle him?
Untangle him. Again, you notice he dropped that rope, walk up and untangle him. Make it as easy for the horse as possible. Your job as the trainer, rider, handler is always to figure out how to make it easy for the horse to learn and easy for the horse to succeed. It's a question I ask the boys all the time. What's the horse get out of this? What's in it for him? We know what's in it for us. What's in it for them? I love the way he's dragging that rope around that horse's feet. And again, the horse is pretty quiet natured and just taking it. This is all stuff that should have been done when he was a colt, when he was ridden the first time. What he's going to do here is, actually, Kurt, I'm going to let you explain what you're going to do here.
Okay, so I'm going to put the rope around both front feet like you were hobbling him, and then pull it evenly on both sides and try and make him walk forward. So he gives to the pressure and walks forward with that. So it'd be like if he had a set of hobbles on.
So if the horse walks out of it like that, it's really no big deal. Again, this has honestly saved my life. I ran into barbed wire on a very bronky young horse 15 years ago in a bad spot. But because we had done this exercise right here, when that horse hit the barbed wire, he actually gave to the pressure, stopped, and when I say barbed wire, I'm talking about a pool of barbed wire. It was terrible in the brush where I was at. I was chasing a cow and bailed right into the middle of this barbed wire, and this horse locked up and stopped, and he stopped because he knew how to give to the pressure. And again, this is stuff that you should have done when you started your horse to ride. This shouldn't be new, and it's not. Deuce is coming around and doing this absolutely faultlessly. It may take you a little longer at home if it's never been done before. It may take you a little while to get him leading. But you notice when he turned and walked off, Kurt didn't try to hold him. He let him step out of it, coiled his rope, and started again.
So in the first half, we got the horse used to the rope being in all parts of his body to where he's not bothered by it at all. Now I'm going to go up to him and swing the rope around him, get him used to the sound and the movement around of the rope around him while it's above him, beside him, in front of him. So that's what we're going to work on this half real quick.
You'll start a distance away from the horse. Again, never starting with your goal. The idea is to give the horse the chance to succeed. All right, so you see he's working closer and closer, throwing that rope in there. Again, he's teaching the horse the rope's going to come from all different places. You don't know where it's coming from. What you want to do is give the horse a background, or a foundation is a better word. You want to give the horse a foundation to work from, so that when you climb on him and you start working cattle and you start roping cattle off of this horse, he has a concept of what's going to happen next. And you can see there's a little hesitation. Deuce isn't quite sure what's going on here. He's not scared. He's unsure. It only takes about 7 seconds to turn unsure into scared. So when he moves off like that, Kurt will keep working that rope. And as he moves him around there, now everybody works horses a little differently. I probably wouldn't have sent him off. What I like to do is spin that rope until they stop and face you. But at the same time, sending him off, let the horse know, hey, keep your eyes on me. Okay, I just keep spinning that rope. I wouldn't send him off. I would spin the rope till he stops and faces you.
Okay.
If he's bored and walking off, that's okay. Move in on him and spin that rope as you come in, but don't move in assertively. There you go. Now when he brings his eyes to you, let him make the rope go away. Just keep walking in on him and spinning that rope. And when his eyes come to you, stop. Go with him. Just go with him. This is you in the saddle. You're going with him. Keep spinning that rope. And when he finally stops and his eyes come to you, you can release. Just keep spinning the rope. Watch him. Just watch. There. Good timing, son. Really good timing. You want to make that so that horse knows that by looking and controlling his emotions and his fear, he made that rope go away. Do that one or two more times, then I want you to work in closer. I'd like you to kind of stand with your shoulder over the saddle and work that rope over your head and throw it across like you're sitting on him.
Okay.
Now just throw it out there. Okay. That was partially my timing was off there. I told you to throw it out at the same time he decided to leave. Just coil it up and go right back to what you were doing until he stands still, and do it again. Till he'll stand there and let you spin that rope beside him. And like right here, I'd love for you to stand on the left side of him and with your right shoulder on the right side and rope across him. Walk up and reward on him. Just walk up and tell him good job and then go right to it. There you go. Now just go right to that. Careful not to hit him. Now when he leaves, just go with him. Go with him until he stops and faces you. No matter which direction he goes, go with him until he stops and faces you. Good. You can make it go away. Now, right there, walk up, rub on him, and go right back to doing it, just like you did a minute ago. Prepare this horse. Give him the chance to know what's coming. That's the main idea. We don't take our kids from kindergarten to 12th grade overnight. We teach them in school all the way along. We teach them to diligently study. Go with him? Good, now drop it, because he stopped moving his feet, okay? So you went with him, he quit, you make it go away because he stood still. All right, do it again. And you'll build his tolerance and he'll stand still longer and longer. Go with him. Perfect. I want my rope horses quiet. I don't like hyper horses when I'm riding them. I like quick, responsive horses. I don't like hyper, out of control horses. Perfect, Kurt. That's excellent. All right, Kurt, I'm going to ask you to do something a little different.
Okay.
You've never done this in your whole life.
Okay.
I want you to climb on him just like that and play with that rope.
Okay.
You don't sound overly positive about this.
I'm not.
Never get yourself hurt. If you don't want to do something, you don't do it. I've done this with a lot of colts, and what it does is it gives that horse and you the chance to work together. You don't do anything that's going to scare the horse because you're pretty aware of the fact you have no control on him. Don't be afraid to throw that rope and get rid of it if you don't like the way things are going. There you go. Now just start rubbing that rope along on his neck and back around his hindquarters and just, yeah, exactly, relaxing him. You've put yourself in an awkward position, the same kind of positions that you've put him in. So now you're just getting them together. There you go. Reach up, rub on his neck. Yep. Now what would be wrong with putting the bridle on here? Nothing would be wrong with putting the bridle on here. Actually, having a bridle on here is absolutely fine. But what this does is it makes you trust the horse as much as you're asking the horse to trust you. Don't act nervous, act relaxed. Perfect, I love that. Pet on him. What did he show us? He showed us that he's learned if he stops moving, the scary things go away. That's absolutely what I want him to learn. Good, rub on him some more, keep playing with that rope, good job. Reach back, yeah, excellent. This will work on your timing as the rider as well, because you notice Kurt spun that rope twice and quit. He's not gonna spin it until this horse bolts and runs off, because he doesn't want this horse to bolt and run off. He hasn't got any control. So instead, now he's actually thinking about the horse. This exercise right here, well, I'm not necessarily telling you to do this at home. I wanted you to see what happens. The difference when you change your way of thinking to the horse. All of a sudden, Kurt is very, very in tune to deuce. He's got an idea of what's going on here. Excellent job, Kurt. From here, this horse is ready to start having a little bit of pressure applied, rope drug off the saddle horn. Things are ready to go. The character traits we talk about, it amazes me how often they really fit what I need to know with me and my horses at that time. Diligence is the trait we wanted to talk about this week, and I promise you, if you do not diligently prepare your horse to be roped off of, if you go rope off of him the first time, you're more likely to get into a wreck than not. Some of you sit at home and say, well, Ken, I'm never ever gonna rope off a horse in my life. That's perfectly okay. You still ought to go through the lesson that Kurt taught this horse today, simply to prepare him for the unexpected things that happen around his leg. Blackberry vines, barbed wire, whatever it is. You know, my brother has a horse that they did all of this work with him. The horse got tangled up in wire in a pasture and stood there all day and waited, and they couldn't figure out why he wasn't moving. They walked out there and found him tangled up in some wire. He wasn't injured, didn't have a hair out of place, because they had diligently taught the lesson. Everything we do in our life, we need to be able to put a beginning and an end to it, and then diligently apply ourselves to bring about the completion of the project. It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to get halfway in and go, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. If you set down ahead of time and say, I am going to do this, and I am going to do it all the way through to completion, I am going to diligently put forth the effort to make this happen, you'll be amazed at the differences that come about in your whole life. It doesn't matter. I remember as a kid, I had a real hard time finishing jobs. I could start lots of things, but finishing just wasn't my thing. And Dad told me then, if you will finish, if you will diligently apply yourself to finish, you'll be amazed at what you can actually do and what you can actually accomplish. And now today, people come to me and say, I don't know how you guys got all that done. It's because we learned to diligently apply ourselves. And so, for sure in our horse training, we want to set out to get the entire picture. We want to apply ourselves. The Bible tells us if we put our hand to the plow, not to look back. And a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You want to set out to do something and finish it. I hope you're enjoying this show as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And until next time, may God bless the trails you ride.
Find out more about Ken McNabb Horsemanship at kenmcnabb.com.
That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride.